All right, what's going on, YouTube? Another breakdown, man. Uh, this will be my last breakdown. Well, I have to do one on Joseph Parker and Martin Piccoli. But Joshua Buatsi is going to be facing Callum Smith tomorrow for the WBO interim shot, and I think the winner of this will be a mandatory for the winner of Better BF and Bivol. Okay, I believe David Benavidez is also a mandatory right now. But this is a pretty hard fight to call. I know I'm going to throw a little bit of money on a draw, possibility in a draw, because both of these guys are kind of even to me. I mean, just based on what I've seen from them. Callum Smith, 34 years old, slightly taller, 6'3", slightly longer reach between the two, and former champion down at 168. He was the winner of the World Boxing Super Series when he beat George Groves. Went on to fight Canelo Alvarez. All right, got beaten up by Canelo pretty clear. Goes up to 175, picks up a couple knockout wins, and faces Arthur Beterbiev, gets destroyed by him in 7 rounds, and picked up a recent win against a journeyman. And now we are here when it comes to him. All right, so as far as his career and his resume, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it all, but as far as his career, I think, he has the two obvious losses, Canelo and Arthur Beterbiev. I do not think he beat John Ryder at, the few times that I watched that fight. I've gone back to rewatch it because of film study for other fights. There's no way he won that fight, in my opinion, but John Ryder, totally different style, southpaw, was more of a bully on the inside. And I think that's really the way you got to be against Callum Smith. You got to be a bully on him. He's a big guy, but he's a more of a rangy fighter. I think his strong points, his key strong points here is when he gets that full extension on that right hand from the outside. That's one of his best shots. And when you are trading with him, I think one of his most recent knockouts at 175, I remember watching the fight. I think it was I think he's like a fighter from Spain. I think it was Gilberto Rivera. No, 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 it was Bowder League, right? That was a good fight. It was a 4-round fight, but that was a good fight. And I think when you punch with him and you allow it, if you're in range to get shot, you get caught with that left hook of Callum Smith. Those are his most deadliest punches, So those are the punches you got to really look out with. But when it comes to Callum Smith, and comparing him to Joshua Buatsi, when it comes to facing a lower opposition, I think Callum Smith looks better because he's more of a bigger puncher to me, like one punch, boom. But when it comes to the higher opposition, which Joshua Boassi hasn't fought in a level of Canelo or in Canelo and what's the other guy, Arthur Beterbiev, I think Boassi has beaten some people on a level of John Ryder, he's around that level, but Callum Smith hasn't showed up in the high level. He's got dominated in his first two official losses. And but I think he's better at the KO on the lower level fighters. You know what I mean? That's just what I think. Well, George Groves is technically on a higher level too, so he did stop him. But that's that one fight, and it was a long time ago. And I think he's fought better fighters since then. But yeah, I think with him, I think he wants the pace to be slower. I think when you put too much pressure and you are really physical with him, even though he's a big guy, I don't think that's his strength, his strong points. Where Joshua Buatsi, who's a little younger, he's 31 years old, hasn't been a champion yet. All right, is a career 175 pounder, barely shorter than him. He's 6'2", okay, shorter reach, but close to Callum Smith's size. Right, puncher, good boxer, not the best defensively, but he is a dog. He's a dog. That's the one thing I could describe him. He's a dog. He's really ready to go in there and be a bully. He can box from the outside, but he likes to be a bully. He likes to trade and just try to beat you up and be really, really, really physical. And he's 19 wins, 13 by knockout, no defeats. Okay. Now, for the most part, he's been British level, but at a high British level. He beat Willie Hutchinson, in a recent fight. He hurt Hutchinson and throughout the fight, he knocked him down a couple of times. He beat Dan Aziz. He beat Craig Richards, which was his best fight in my opinion. Good close fight. Craig Richards, I think that was the last really good fight from him. You know, Craig Richards, to me, before the Arthur Better Be a fight, was I think he was Bivol's toughest fight. You know, I think he did the best against Bivol. You know, I know Bivol was out of the ring for some time, so maybe he was a little bit rusty, but that was a good fight with Craig Richards. You know, he beat Bolotniks. You know, he beat Santos. I think Santos fight is what really caught my eye with him, and I kind of been following him since then. But he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. I think Callum Smith will be the most experienced fighter he's fought. You know, I think he's the most proven fight that Boatsi fought. So it's definitely a test for him. And for Callum Smith, this is definitely a fight that he needs to win, you know, because he's not getting any younger. You know, he's already in his mid 30s, and this is probably going to be, if he is to win this fight, this will probably be his last shot at a title shot. You know, as far as if he is to win this fight, this will probably be his last opportunity to get another title shot. You know, he's gotten a few already, and this will probably be the last one. But yo, I think this is an even fight. You know, because I do think it's a step up for Buatsi. And I do Buatsi is there to get hit. I think defensively he's not that good. And he's gas, you know. I think he's been better at pacing himself a little better than what he was when he like totally like burned out against Craig Richards. I think he's better than that. But, you know, I noticed in the Hutchinson fight, like he was the better fighter. But they were round, so he clearly had to take off in that fight, which made it more competitive than what it needed to be. Right? So you got Boatsi, who I think is going to want to be more physical. And then you got Callum Smith, who I think in the times in the spaces in the fight where things are a little bit slowed down, the pacing slowed down, you know, it's more of an out long range fight. I think Callum Smith is going to try to keep him on the end of the jab, you know, try to land that right cross, and you know, just try to keep it a long range fight. I think with Boatsi, definitely, like I said earlier, if there are exchanges on a mid range or close range, he has to be very cautious of Callum Smith's left hook, big power in that. I do think at some point in this fight, I think if there's a knockout, I would expect it more from Callum Smith just because he has more of a one punch knockout power. But I also think the pressure of Joshua Buatsi and his work rate and him digging to the body could also be a problem for Callum Smith, which might make him take a knee. All right. I'm not expecting a knockout on this fight, but I am expecting a close win from either side. I'm leaning towards Joshua Buatsi. You know, if I had to pick, I'm going to go with Joshua Buatsi pulling out a very, very close split decision win. Again, I am expecting a scary moment in the fight where Buatsi gets caught with a left hook, a hard shot, and get buzzed and maybe either take a knee or at least like get buzzed by the shot where, you know, he's in danger. I do expect that to happen. But as far as consistency, I'm leaning towards Buatsi, and I think he's going to win this one on points. Again, this is a fight that I'm definitely putting a little bit money on the draw. But as far as the actual win, and I think Buatsi is actually a slight favorite. I think I'm going to go with the favorite this time, and I think he's going to edge Callum Smith. It's just with the work rate and just him being more physical. He's coming forward. I like him better in this fight. All right, so that's my prediction for this fight here. Please subscribe to the channel again. And be on the lookout. Watch all the other breakdowns. They're all up. They're all out there. I will be here tomorrow morning to cover the entire card. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification. Hit the thumbs up for me. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bacoli Parker next. Peace.